Good evening, everybody. What's popping? What's popping? Welcome to this week's edition of the Hot Seat. I am your hostess with the mostest, P. Koffe Brown. And as always, we got a powerful popping show for you tonight. So welcome in, everybody. As you're coming in, say what's up to us. Say hello to us. I'm over here getting all these different devices right and righteous so that you guys can actually see everybody on the platform tonight. So we're going to go ahead and start with Taylor. Taylor, go ahead and give some introductions while I work my magic on this side.
Absolutely. Look, it's a pleasure to be here. My name is Taylor Made Speaks, and I specialize in toxic relationship. Let me repeat that again. We got a lot of relationship coaches that put people together. We got people that bring people out of maybe bad situations, and it blossoms into beautiful situation. Well, I help people get out of those tough and toxic and dangerous situations and bring them back to self-love. So that's what I do.
I know that's right. And Yasmin, what's going on, lady? Welcome back to the hot seat, man. What's going on? What's popping?
Hello.
That's it. So, y'all, what's going on, everybody? I'm your hostess with the mostest, P. Koffe Brown. I had a little bit of technical stuff going on in the background that we had to fix and all that good stuff. So, welcome into this week's edition of the Hot Seat. We are in the building, just navigating through our little technical stuff, making it happen like it needs to happen. And so, last week, we're going to get right into the discussion tonight. So, last week, we were talking about the don'ts of long distance dating, how to tackle the don'ts of long distance dating. This week, we are going to be talking about the do's of long distance dating because, with the bad, got to come some good. So if you want to do it, we want to make sure that you're equipped and well able to execute a healthy relationship connection from a distance perspective. So for those of you out there in the social media world who are dating individuals that are from a distance, say for instance, you're on a dating app, you're vibing with individuals that you met via dating apps, or maybe you were in transit from one part of the world to the next, and you met somebody while you were in transit on an airplane or whatever the case might be, and you connected with them and you were vibing with them and you were like, oh my God, I like Sally. Oh my God, Sally like me, and so on and so forth. But there are some things that you have to know that can help those relationships to be cultivated effectively and to withstand the test of time. Also, to withstand the challenge of that distance when it comes to your relationship. So, one of the main things that we recommend let me first say this. I'm also a certified master life coach. So, you got two coaches on the platform tonight, and you got one wannabe coach on the platform tonight, but she do keep some people straight. Miss Jasmine Monet is in the building with that. But there are some things that you really need to understand when it comes to dating somebody, and there's some distance in between you and that individual. And one is, we kind of tackled it a little bit on last week, but we're going to talk more about it this week. We talked about the language of expression or love that person speaks. Because if we are not connecting with that person's language or their love expression, or however you want to use those words, we're going to lose them. It's already challenging enough that we have distance between us or miles between us. We don't want to complicate things without understanding the person that we're dealing with and knowing them, knowing what their expectations are, knowing what their experiences are, knowing what adds value to them, and also what takes away from them. We got to know these things if we're going to cultivate a relationship with somebody, especially from a distance. So we got a few questions that we're going to tap into tonight, and I'm going to have our amazing panelists tap in as we talk about these elements and components. So Yasmin, let's start off with Miss Yasmin. We're going to start off with Miss Yasmin tonight. So Yasmin, question for you. When you're dating somebody long distance, how important is communication? How important is it?
Communication is the main aspect of a long distance relationship. I feel like you'll never have an understanding if you don't communicate. Like, it's so much things that you won't be able to see unless you talk about it. Like, someone could go somewhere and you're like, you didn't tell me you were leaving. Or someone could have something come up and you're like, you didn't tell me about this. Like, why didn't you tell me? Because it's about communication. And when you don't have communication, it's like you don't have that stability. And it just like that's how some people think that you're untrustworthy because you don't communicate things, and it ends up being a misunderstanding.
Taylor, what's your thoughts about that? What is the main thing about long distance? Jasmine said it's the communication element. What's your thoughts on that, Taylor?
No, I totally agree. I second that motion. Communication. I mean, if you're long distance, that's all you have, right? You have those two voice on both ends of the spectrum, wherever you are located, to get to know each other, right? And to kind of understand where each other is coming from. And I think that I'm glad that we're talking about the do's of this topic, because I'm sure some of us have been in relationships or getting to know. Let me just start from there, getting to know each other. And you hear the person is like, well, I don't do too much talking. Well, that's a problem. And some people think it's cute, a man of few words. You always hear that, a man of few words. So I guess the question that we have to think about is, if that person don't like to talk a lot or don't like to talk at all, a person of few words, then what happens when there's a disagreement? And see, and this is where I tell people in the beginning, when they're getting to know somebody, if that person is not a talker, and I'm not saying that that person have to be a person that runs their mouth. I'm saying a person that is easily flowing in communication. I've always used this example of when you're on the phone with a dude, and I always do this sometimes to my female friends. You ask the guy, so hey, how was your day? And this is the response you get: it was all right. It was all right. Okay, great. So what was okay about that, your day, right? It's having that dialogue back and forth. If the dialogue is disconnected in the beginning, like Yasmin said, if the communication is not there in the beginning, when there's tough times, when there's time to sit and talk, if there's a discrepancy or maybe there's a misunderstanding, like when I have a person that's talking to me and they might say, oh, you sound like you don't feel like being bothered. Maybe I've called you at the wrong time. I now know how to respond to say, no, 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 everything is fine. Let's talk about it. Why do you feel, or what did I give off to make you feel that I don't want to be bothered, right? Let's have that conversation, right? Because like I said, when it's dealing with long distance relationship, that's all you have is the conversation. Now we got video phones, but communication is the number one in anything that we do, to really, really get to know each other and understand each other.
And you know what? That I'm glad that you mentioned that, and I'm glad that you talked about something that a lot of people have to keep in mind. You have to be proactive in keeping that connection flowing. Because if I say to you, Taylor, I just feel like you don't feel like being bothered, whatever, you can say, oh, okay, well, let's talk later. That's not going to help the situation. Somebody is going to have to be the person that says, no, 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 let's not close the lines of communication, because this is all that we basically have in order to keep us connected. We're not in the same space, we're not in the same experience, we're not moving in the same spot, so there's no way that I'm going to be able to get to you outside of us connecting by talking. So we can't just shut that down. If we shut that down, we don't have anything else. We're stuck. And I think that that's something that's major for distance relationships, but that's also major for all relationships. When we really think about the bigger picture, what really, like, I'll give you a perfect example. Yasmin and I, today, this is a perfect example. So Yasmin and I today, when I was en route back to home, I said, she ain't called me, she ain't checked in. I don't know what's going on. Let me call her. Normally, I would have sent a text, but I said, because I hadn't talked with her, I said, let me call. And so immediately she sends me to voicemail. Hold on, Just give me a minute. I'm doing something. Da da da. I'll call you right back. So anyway, we had a dialogue and a conversation. Now, mind you, think about it from this perspective. If I say I haven't talked with you, I've got to initiate something. Doesn't matter what the gender is, especially when you're talking about distance. I know some of us are kind of, I don't even want to use the term stuck, but some of us subscribe to the old school ideology where guy needs to initiate, guy needs to initiate, guy needs to initiate. Well, when it comes to distance dating, that's going to cause you a huge disappointment if you go by that mantra. You're going to have to initiate some of the contact. It's almost going to have to be like 50-50, to be quite frank with you. If you're going to make a distance partnership work, you can't leave and put the weight of responsibility on the guy to always, do the initial contact. It's got to be both people adding to the contact, making sure that if you didn't call me, I'm hitting you up. If I didn't call you, you hit me up. And really, quite frankly, that's really a better way of building a relationship anyway, regardless of whether it's distance or not. But it really, really comes into play when it's distant, because if that person is busy, or that person is doing life, or they're working, or they got any kind of a busy lifestyle, any kind of productive life, like myself, like Taylor, like Yasmin, if you got any kind of a busy life, you need somebody in your space that is going to take the initiative to connect. Y'all can chime in at any point. You want
Yeah,
somebody that's going to connect. Go ahead, Yasmin.
100, not 50-50. 100. 50% is half of the effort. You give 100%. I want all of the.
And I like what you said, 100, because I was watching some program the other day and they were saying the same thing. They were talking about how when people talk about 50-50, there's no such thing as 50-50. Because if you do 50-50, sometimes you're going to end up with 30-10 if you say 50-50. But if you do 100, you're going to pretty much land 70-60. You're still going to get a lot more than which you would have got if you said 50-50. So I totally agree with you on that one. Go ahead, Taylor.
Yeah, you know how many there's a lot of relationships that ends because one person had the idea that they didn't hear from the individual that morning, and instead of for them to reach out to just make sure that they're okay, nothing happened to them, they waited the whole day. And I see a lot of relationships fade, not ghosts, just fade because one person didn't hear from the other person all day, and that person, for whatever reason, did not initiate a phone call or a text to just say, hey, I haven't heard from you all day. And so this is the thing that really bothers me, is that if you are looking for a relationship and engaging in a relationship, and you decided not to follow through to check to see if the person is okay, then what really kind of relationship you're looking for?
Mhm.
Right. And so I just think that a lot of times we drop the ball. We really drop the ball on really sorting out, like, what are we really looking for? Are we looking for somebody to continually reach out to us all the time and we don't reciprocate or respond? Or this is a mutual getting to know each other, especially when it comes to long distance relationship. Like, you have to put in that work when it comes to communication.
Ah! Just when he was getting juicy, there goes his technology tripping
Lord
again.
have mercy.
Gosh, it did that crap last week, but he was getting good. What he was saying was so good about the connecting and communicating and making sure that you take the initiative as well as the person, because it's not going to work anyway. If
I
I'm
used to
always
struggle
hit,
with that.
huh?
I said I used to struggle with that because
What?
I'm a very like consistent person. So when like someone like I'm a very like what's the word? It's not consistent. I'm just the type of person like I like to have everything set. Like if you're texting me good morning every morning and you just like don't do it one day, sometimes I'll wait and be like, okay, I'll just give him a little bit. But I used to struggle with like, waiting all day, like, and be like, I wonder why they didn't text me instead of just taking the initiative. But I don't struggle with it anymore.
Yeah, and that I think that a lot of people struggle with that because they get so accustomed. That's the reason why it's so important that there's a mutual reciprocity going on, because you get so accustomed to this person doing this or this person doing that. And we
Yeah.
always say, and there's a saying, and it holds very true: if it's something that you're not going to keep up with, don't start it,
Yeah.
because it's true. People will have an expectation of you to keep doing whatever that thing is. Whatever that thing is that they've grown accustomed to, they're going to be expecting it. Why they expect it? Because you initiated it. When you initiate something, you have to make sure that you're keeping up with that. That's another thing that's on the list for do's, things to do when you're in a long distance relationship. What you start with that person, you have got to be consistent with it. Kind of like what Yasmin was talking about with the text messaging. But life happens, and I love what you said. Now that you're not doing that anymore, you actually are initiating or being proactive instead of having the expectation that that person always does it, because
Yes.
anything can happen. Something
I
could be
always
going on.
have that expectation.
Yeah,
That's
but
why.
something could be going on. That person could have gotten an accident. Something could have happened with their family, and it would be refreshing for you to be the person to initiate. If they were always initiating, it's always refreshing when
Yeah.
the other person does something, and it makes the person that's on the receiving end, they feel special. They feel like you care. They feel like you're engaged. And so sometimes it's just a matter, if the person normally texts you about 9 o'clock, take the initiative, text them at 8, say, hey, good morning. I was thinking of you and I wanted to hit you up, say what's up, good morning to you. It's going to catch them by surprise. It'll be a pleasant surprise for them. And it also will show them that you're interested, you're plugged in, and you're engaged in the experience, as opposed to them initiating all the time. However, whatever you decide is going to be your thing with your person that you're getting to know, it's going to have to be your thing. So whatever that is, whatever you decide that your thing is going to be, I don't know what's going on with the system tonight, but everybody then fell off but me. So anyway, but you have to decide what is your thing going to be when you're dealing with somebody from a distance. Hopefully my panel can come back on. I don't know why they got kicked out, but hopefully they'll be able to hop back on with me so I won't have to have a monologue tonight. For some reason, we're having some technical issues. So y'all just roll with us. Hopefully, again, our panelists can hop back on. But in the meantime, we're going to keep the conversation going. We're going to keep the conversation going. So there's a couple other things that we're going to be talking about tonight. So here's another thing: setting ground rules. Setting ground rules when it comes to long distance dating. What does that look like when you talk about setting ground rules when it comes to long distance dating? Well, ground rules are simple and easy. Ground rules are nothing more than, this is what we're going to be doing, and this is what we're not going to be doing, or this is something that we're not going to be subscribing to in our experience while we're building and forging our relationship and our dating experience together. So, ground rules, just as like anything else, you want to make certain that you have those things in place to define how your experience is going to look. And that's what it is. That's simple and easy when it comes to ground rules for dating. And that way, the person doesn't have an expectation of something to happen, and you don't have an expectation of something to happen, because you've defined in your experience that this is going to be what we're going to be focused on and what we're going to be doing. Now, ground rules will change over time. They're not going to remain the same. So when you're doing the ground rules, you have initial ground rules in that what we call the honeymoon phase, where I'm getting to know said person. We're getting to the point where we're learning each other, we're vibing, and we're just honeymooning. That's all it is. That honeymooning phase, when you first get to meet a person, that experience where everything is good, the energy is high. You got a set of ground rules during that time. And then as you dive deeper into the experience with the person, then the ground rules are going to begin to change on how you guys move forward in that experience. And to be quite frank with you, ground rules have to be in place no matter what stage you're in your relationship. Even in a marriage, you have to have certain ground rules that you subscribe to for the sake of keeping a healthy relationship intact with your purpose person. So whenever you're dating, heading into the serious elements of the dating experience, heading over into the courtship experience, heading over into the engagement experience, into the marriage experience, all of the different facets of relationships and the building blocks of relationships, you have to understand that there's ground rules for every element of the experience. So Taylor, you and Yasmin can chime in. I know we've been having some crazy issues with the technology, but you know, I'm gonna keep the party rolling while y'all popping in and out the church tonight. Y'all know how we do. Y'all popping in and out.
You know, like how in church we put that one hand up.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Oh man, yeah. So you know, like I said, you're doing a long distance relationship. The number one thing is communication. That's the foundation, and that's in anything, but really with long distance relationship. And if you feel that you need that attention, maybe you want somebody to say good morning Texas and good evening Texas and good afternoon Texas, then let that be known in the beginning of the getting to know each other. Let the other person know. And if that person for some reason didn't text you that morning, then you can text them. You send a hello message, right? Not just let it go by and don't call the whole day and then call later on that night at 8 p.m. trying to figure out how come you didn't receive anything
And
from that.
you missed that part. We were literally talking about that
Oh,
when you got kicked out of the studio. No, come on back here.
Yeah.
You missed that part, but you saying it, and I love that you got right into that because it sounds different when a guy says it. It sounds different when a man speaks about it versus when women speak about it. For that communication. Go ahead, Taylor.
no, 100%. You know, for me, like I like communication, right? And there's sometimes where yes, I might want to be alone, or I might have a busy day where I can't text. So I might text you in the morning, then you might not hear from me all day. But guys like to receive text messages too. I mean, like this is not just a one-way street, right? And I think, like I said, some people purposely, because you know, for me, you know, based on my background, I always kind of dig. So I'm like, okay, let me get this straight. You didn't hear from me all morning, all afternoon, and you waited. Because you were checking your phone. Trust me, those people that wait, they check their phone. Oh, he ain't text me.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
she
used
ain't
to
text
do
me, right? And then you decide to text me at 8 o'clock at night, not knowing if I was in a car accident, something happened, I lost my phone, what have you. But you come with this attitude or this
Immediately, not knowing what's up.
immediately or this investigative kind of persona, you
Exactly.
know, trying to say, well, how come I didn't hear from you all day? Whoa, I think that's the wrong way of approach. And I think, and see, for me, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Like those kind of things for me is games. And if you're gonna wait all day to try to set me up in the evening instead of trying to figure out, you know, am I okay? And it's not even saying am I okay, just you can send a good morning text.
But dig this too, Taylor. I'm gonna say this while we all in the thick of things. We can ready get juicy. You thought about that all day. Whoever that person is, you thought about it all day. You thought about the attitude. You had that attitude all
Building
day
up.
long, waiting on the opportunity to jump stupid, is what I always call it.
That's me.
And you know, but there's a certain maturation that comes with distance dating. You have to be mature enough to handle that experience. That's why, you know, we always say, and Taylor, I know you do this from coaching as well. If you really, 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 really want to have a relationship with this person, you have got to adjust your behavior patterns. Because guess what? And that's with any relationship. To be quite frank with you, if you're gonna jump stupid like that with anybody's son or anybody's daughter, then you're really honestly not ready to be in a relationship. You can be a little, you know, a little homie, a homie lover friend or something, but relationship requires you to step out of you in order for it to work with you and that individual. Taylor, why you on mute? We open
No,
forum.
I know, no. I mean, it's just it really, like I said, this really fuels me, And I'm gonna be honest with you. If you're gonna jump like that, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna open that door and you're gonna jump right out my whole entire life, because I don't have time to be playing those games. And like I said, like you
Tell
said,
them.
they waited all day.
All day.
Getting built up, they're strategizing. They can't wait to call you. And I'm talking men and women. This is not, I'm not taking sides.
It is not gender specific, because I didn't had a dude to jump stupid with me before, Taylor. And I said, listen, son of God, but I wasn't as pleasant as I am currently.
They can't wait. And I'm letting you know, you waited all day. And guess what? First of all, let's just call it what it is. And I'm just going to be transparent. It's hard to have a relationship in the first place. I'm gonna be honest with you. If I didn't have to have a relationship, I wouldn't. Let's just be frank, because there's a lot of non-headache stuff that you can have not being in a relationship. Mm-hmm. But I decided that, yes, I want to be with somebody and I want to take that extra step and I want to put in the work. Right. So if you don't want to call me, that already made up my mind to be like, you know what, next. Like it's that simple. There's so many people in the world. So if you're gonna hold off and not wait, and my thing is this, and this is one of my pet peeves. What other things down the line that you gonna hold and wait is almost like, I got you. Like I'm waiting for you to fail. I'm waiting to see what
it's a preview of a coming attraction. That's just if it's petty like that to begin with, that's a preview of a coming attraction. So when something real happens, it's going down, Taylor.
Yep. Every time.
100%. I just, like I said, when it comes to stuff like that, you ain't call me because, or you didn't know. Like, we're two grown adults trying to get to know each other. What does it take to just send a text? And you could say the same thing to the other person, or say to me, why couldn't I text you in the morning? It could have been 1,000 many things. How about trying to figure out why instead of attacking? Just ask the question, are you okay? Instead of saying, how come you ain't text me? Say, are you okay? Is everything okay? Are you having a bad day?
Don't commit to attack after that. When I get done saying that everything is okay, when I get done saying that, oh, my day is going well, don't commit to attack from there. Thinking, oh, that's my open opportunity to go in. So you didn't, so your day, you was all right and you ain't send me no message. See, some people, Taylor, you gotta square the daughters and sons off.
So that's like how I used to be. Like I would ask first, because I'm an overthinker, which is why I like communication. So if you do wake up in the morning and you tell me, hey, I'm not gonna lie, I'll have a busy day today. I'm sending you this good morning text just to let you know I'm not gonna really be on my best communication today. Then I'm not gonna jump stupid. But there has been times where there's been some times where I'll be like really like concerned. I'll be like, are you okay? Like, this is not like you. And they'll be like, yeah, like I just came home. I went out for some drinks. And I'll be like, so you went out for drinks. You got dressed. You brushed your teeth, did your hair. And in the midst of all of that, you didn't send me no text. Because I am going to text you. It's about how you going to respond, when you going to respond. Because you're going to get a text, but I need you to respond. That's how I used to be. But I changed.
And let me say this: there's so many ways of communication now. So if you left, because I've left my phone at home, and let me tell you something: if I'm on my way to work, that phone is staying at home. I don't have time to be turning back to make sure I have my phone. So if I left my phone, maybe when I get to work, I get to a computer. If there's no firewall, I might can send you a message on Messenger. I might can send you a message on IG. Hey, I left my phone. Just let you know, I'll hit you when I get back to the house. I'm okay. Hope you're having a great day, right?
That's what I want.
100%. But people, there's things that happen in people. You know what? I'm going to say this. It's not all about you. It's not all about, and a lot of people, they think it's all about them. Me. Why you didn't text me? Well, why didn't you check on me? Like it's a two-way street. And one thing that I would say is that you have to put the other person first. When you approach somebody, put them first. I just want to know that you're okay. Yes, I'm okay. Everything all right? All right, cool. Hit me when you get a chance. That's it. It's that
Yeah.
simple.
And
But
dig
A
this.
lot of people don't have understanding, and they're selfish. They don't have, like, when you're in a relationship, you have to be as selfless as possible, because you're gonna have to really break down and like learn how to, like, okay, I know I'm clingy, I'm a clingy person, but I know, on the other hand, like I said with me and my mom, I'm a clingy person, so I text my mama very often. Sometimes I just text her randomly, like, "What you doing?" And she might not respond right away. But when you get to learn that person and you compromise with them, that's when it's like, I know that they might be busy, or sometimes they just need their space. And it's when you become like an adult, some stuff is like, I don't want to be taskful. I don't need you to tell me when I gotta text you everything that I'm doing. I gotta send you this. I gotta do that. I'm not your child. We're in a relationship and we're adults. We're not each other. I'm not your daughter. You're not my parent. So you can't dictate what I do and what I communicate about. I'm gonna do it regardless, but once you tell me it, now you're showing that red flag. Like, you just need to know every little thing, and
And
that's healthy.
there's I'm glad you said that. There's an element of that is dysfunctional. When somebody has a requirement of you to divulge all this information. Let me say this. And I know some of the sons of God, some of the sons always have beef with me about this. And it just is gonna be what it is, because I'm not gonna change this. I don't do all that checking in. I don't do that. I didn't do it when I was married for years, and it was not something that either of us did. Now, when I say checking in, I don't mean like courtesy connecting. I'm talking about checking in. Oh, I'm over here. I'm over here. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. Oh, I went over here. I went by here. No, ma'am. No, sir. I will not be doing it. If you're watching this broadcast and you see Koffe and you thought I was that chick and you was interested in your girl, if you're looking for a check-in ministry, I'm not your girl. I'm not gonna
That
be able to do
girl.
it. I just
I'm gonna be honest. I'm that girl.
but
These days.
my whole thing with that is, if I'm doing that, then where is the trust element of you trusting me as a human being in a relationship? Where's that trust factor to make it known that, hey, we're both adults. I want to be able to trust you. By me giving you space to be whoever it is that you were before you even got to me, I need you to still be that person. I don't need you to change who you are. And then all of a sudden you doing all this checking in, but you don't want to do it. It's not your desire. It's not an innate part of who you are. You feel overwhelmed because every time I turn around, you gotta check in with me to tell me you going around here to Jack's house and you going to Jack. Now, when I say courtesy check-ins, I mean, if you know that you're going to step out of your routine and it's going to be drastic, then I definitely recommend you let your person know. Because in situations like that, something could happen to you. If you have most people have a certain routine about themselves.
yes,
Every adult has a certain routine about themselves. So if Taylor and I were in a relationship and he normally connects with me about 6:30 every day, regardless of what he's doing or where he's going to be going. If Taylor doesn't connect with me and I'm looking up, it's like 9:15. I'm like, where's my baby at? I ain't talked to my baby. It's 9:15. I gotta check on him. I don't know what's up. Because there was a pattern there. So you definitely want to lay down some type of pattern for your person to be able to connect with. They need to have some type of connection. However, the ongoing stuff, that's a negative Nancy. I ain't gonna be able to do it. No, ma'am.
I'm not gonna lie. It's like automatic for me.
Well, some people, like some people they just like to be in the presence, or just like to feel loved and feel wanted and stuff like that. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that, unless it's turning toxic, right?
It goes to that language, Taylor. It goes to the language.
100%. And I think people, like, we know that people history and stuff like that, they're dealing with trauma. They've been left all their life, and so they really want to have that kind of control. And then you have the people that are like control freaks or narcissists, that they thrive. I'm telling y'all, this is a sick mindset, they thrive to have that control, to know every movement that you're doing. It's almost like slave. It's almost like you're their slave, and they are controlling every movement. And when they see that text message at 8 o'clock in the morning, they see that text message at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, they see that text message at 6 o'clock whenever you get off. You know, it's like I said, there's people that watch people sleep at night on video.
Not in my camp, it won't be.
It is the most sickening thing that I've ever seen. Now, if you want to do it because, hey, let's go to sleep together, I get it. But if it's a requirement from an individual that they have to watch you sleep because they think you probably going to be sneaking off and being with somebody else, then that individual needs help.
Yeah, that's a
Very
mental
much so.
illness.
So let's go back to the positives. Let's get off that's good, because we got over into the negative Nancy real quick. I mean, we like slid all off the do's and slid right back to the let's get back to the do's of this thing, y'all. We want to make sure that the people know. They're like, wait a minute, I thought y'all was on time. We telling y'all about the do's, and of course, a little bit of the don't comes and encompassed all in that. So bear with us, y'all.
You
bear
know
with
me
us
and Mr.
tonight.
Taylor gonna do it every time.
Y'all gonna do it every time. Y'all can't help y'allself.
Hey, I deal with toxic. I deal with toxicity, of course.
It's toxic bay, period. So it's gonna be an element of toxicity, regardless of what we're talking about. We're talking about Taylor. Keeping your dates sacred, okay? That's gonna be an important do when it comes to distance relationships. Why? Because that person needs to have something to look forward to when it comes to you. Now, we're not talking about just the physical dates. We're talking about virtual dates where you say, I'm going to get something to eat at 8:15. I'll be at the crib about 9. I'm gonna shower and everything. And then we're gonna watch a movie together and have dinner, right? So I did that with my purpose person when I used to date somebody that lived in Chicago. So he'll be eating and I'll be eating and we'll be watching a movie or whatever. And I'm like, you chew with your mouth open? Close your mouth, so stuff like that. And we'll laugh and chop it up. And sometimes we would fall asleep on the phone or whatever. But those times were very, very sacred, very, very sacred and very enjoyable for the both of us. We really, really got to know each other real well from there. So like when we so when we first actually physically met, it was like we had been around each other forever because it was like our norm. I was like, hey, what's up? He was like, hey, what's going on? I knew his space. I was familiar with his space. His home wasn't a place where I was not familiar with and all that kind of stuff. And that's another thing too. Let me tell you something. And of course, I'm not going to get toxic, but I know Taylor will come with toxicity at some point. This is a good way to start identifying with the type of patterns that your person has when they're at home. Most people, when they're dating somebody from a distance, their patterns show up when they start doing virtual dating. When we're on the videos and stuff like that, their patterns show up. So that gives you a chance to kind of start tuning into your person's patterns. Now, my person, he used to sleep with his fan on. It'd be dead of winter. And the dude was living in Chicago. I was like, you got the fan on? And he said, yeah, I always sleep with a fan on. I said, every day? He said, every day I turn the fan on. And I said, why? He said, I don't really know why, but I've been sleeping with a fan for years. So it's kind of like a part of my sleep pattern. I can't even sleep if I don't have a fan on.
Consistency is key.
Yeah. So I said, so what am I going to do when I come to visit? Well, how this going to work?
Get another blanket.
That's what he said. He said, what I'm going to do, I'm going to lay on the side with the fan. You're going to lay on the other side. And I have some extra blankets for you. So he shows me this closet with all these blankets. He said, you can have at it. Whichever blanket you want, all these blankets are at your disposal. Every single blanket that you want is at your disposal. I said, what if I catch a cold? He told me, you're not going to catch nothing. You'll be all right. So every time, Taylor, when I went for a visit and it was the dead of winter, it's already bad. And I'm from Detroit, but when you move to the South, your blood and your skin adjusts to the new environment. So it wasn't as my layer that I used to have to withstand the cold. I kind of shed that layer. So I was like, it's challenging enough, sir, that I gotta go and buy all this winter gear because it's snowing and carrying on. Now you want me to freeze at night. What's going on? But
Wow.
but like I said, I learned his patterns while we were doing our virtual dates. I got a chance to kind of see how he moved about in his space and how he, his patterns were as far as his sleep was concerned. Because he'll get in the bed and we'll have the little mount or whatever thing, to be able to keep the phone on or whatever. And we'll be chatting about whatever we were chatting about. And I'd be like, what is that noise? He'd be like, it's the fan. What? It's the wintertime. Why you got a fan on? So, but it was cool because again, it was a chance to get to learn him. And
No,
that's going to be important for distance. Very important.
yeah, absolutely. You can see if the person is clean, and you can really go around the house, right? You can really say, hey, let me see what your place looked like, right? Because remember,
And do it in a non-threatening way. Let's say that right, Taylor, because we don't want nobody to be doing it in a way where they trying to scope out do it in a non-threatening way after some time invested. This is not in the interim. This is after you've invested some time into the relationship.
That is true. People are gonna scope. That's just what reality is. I'm not gonna even go down that lane.
Yeah.
We're gonna stay positive. But yeah, you're absolutely right. You can pick up a lot of things. And not only that, you can see if the person is really open in their life to you, right? Because just talking on the phone is great. Remember, this is long distance, but you want to kind of tap into their life and their tap into your life, right? How do you do that? Video.
Yeah.
And you know what, too, Taylor? There's another element of that scheduled time. So the person does not feel like you're intruding on their privacy. I have noticed, and I know Yasmin knows this, she's a millennial, so she knows this better than I do. They be quick to hit that video screen. I be like, what? Y'all need to see me?
Well, guys are usually faster. Guys are quick to hit because we want to see the beauty. We want to see you. We want to see your shape. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I dig all that, but let me say this. I feel like I'm being intruded on if it's not scheduled. You know what I'm saying? Like every now and then I'm like, I'm good with the random.
But that's like you
as
as a
totally
person.
frozen. Oh my God, he's totally frozen.
Click them out again.
Dang it.
But that's you as a person.
And it is. It's me.
Like for me, it's like flattering. Like, oh my gosh, like you want to see my face, like you want to see like my beauty. Like I'm like, oh my gosh, like yes, FaceTime me.
And I mean, but okay, you just said the operative word. Okay, FaceTime me. So you gave the person permission. I'm just talking about people who.
But like as far as like scheduled times, I don't really mind it. Like I normally tell people like my partner like let's say like I have a meeting at 6:00. I normally say like I have a meeting at 6:00. I'll be out around 7:15, and then you can call me after I'm out. Like I normally like say that, but like I don't normally make like a scheduled time, just because I don't want somebody to feel like like they can't talk to me or.
Well, we're talking about the dating part. We're not talking about just communication, but we're talking about the dating aspect. Yasmin, why did your sound disappear? Taylor, say something.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, Yasmin, your sound is completely gone. I don't know why we're having so many issues with the technology. Yasmin, go out and come back in. Your sound is gone. Okay, Taylor.
Yeah. So,
okay.
Yeah.
But you were saying that y'all want to see our beauty, and I don't have an issue with that. I'm just saying, let me know that we're gonna have time. And I'm not. And let me say this. Let me also make this statement. I don't care about the makeup stuff because when I'm with my person, I'm not gonna have on no makeup or nothing anyway. Because 99% of the time, if I'm dating somebody, they probably gonna end up seeing me without makeup before they see me with makeup, unless they met me on one of those dating apps or something.
Yeah.
But 9 times out of 10, when I'm dating somebody and I'm in a relationship with somebody, they've seen me without makeup first before they ever see me with makeup. Unless I'm out and about somewhere. But like on the weekend, Yasmin will tell you, I ain't wearing no makeup.
Yeah, no.
Unless I'm going somewhere, I will not have on no beat face. I'm gonna be looking just like the Lord made me, for real.
I'm gonna show you me and my bonnet
I
to
don't know
see
about
if
all.
you. No,
I'm
I
not
need
gonna.
to see if you're really messing with me because, like, if you're not really messing with me with my bonnet on, we ain't got
Toxic
nothing to talk
Bay,
about.
She is
Taylor. Toxic Bay.
yo,
Toxic Bay.
yo.
That's
Toxic
toxic.
Bay.
I need to see what level you on with me. Dude, are you comfortable with me in my bonnet? Because when
Now,
we go
now,
to
now,
sleep,
dig this.
when we
If
go
you
to sleep
call
on the
me,
phone, what you think I'm finna wear when we go to sleep on the
well, I
phone?
mean that's true. You're right. Or if you call me early in the morning and
Yeah.
it's on a and it's 6, 7 o'clock and you're like, hey, babe, I just want to say good morning. I want to see you. Well, I
I'm
mean,
gonna
you
have
want
that
to see
smirk
me?
on.
You sure you want to see me?
I'm like, you're gonna have to see all of it if you want to see me. You're gonna have to see all of it. So, are you messing with me or not? I need to know.
But Taylor, let's keep it a buck though. This kind of information is good to know because let me tell you one thing that that we had a show years ago and I want to revisit it again. Are you ever gonna be naked? That's what the show is called. Are you ever going to be naked? Because a lot of people, and this goes both genders.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
There's some guys who will never let you see them except for to a certain magnitude. Like if the guy hasn't gotten his hair cut, his
Yeah,
beard is not on point, he won't even I ain't doing no FaceTime. I'm gonna holler at you after I go to the barbershop.
that's
What?
me.
I need to see you how you look without all that fluff and hype, sir.
That's me. I'm not. You ain't gonna see me without my hair done.
But dig this. I literally was in the bar because y'all know I live at the barbershop. I got natural hair, right? Taylor, I was in the barbershop. This is no joke. One day I was in the barbershop, and when I say I had heard about, guys getting certain aesthetics and stuff done and all this, and I said, they ain't really doing all that. I went in the barbershop and my barber used to color my hair, right? When my hair is not as white as this, but when it was more on the blondie side, not the platinum side, but when it was more on the blondie side. So my barber had a bottle of like a black bottle, and it kind of put me in the mind of some type of oil sheen spray, right? He said, don't spray that, that's fibers. I said, what? He said, some of the guys, I spray their hair
Yeah.
to make their hair appear fuller.
Yep.
So that's one of the sprays that I use. So if you spray that, all that blonde hair is gonna turn pitch black.
It's deceiving.
I said, what? So
Yeah.
then another day I went in there was this guy, it was no joke. He was getting his entire beard
Some of them
colored.
they have lace fronts for dudes now.
Yeah,
Like
he was getting his entire beard
yeah.
covered, and he was also getting all of his hair, just to mask all of his, all of his grays. He literally got all of his because his hair was pitch black, like up in here, but he had white hair, like up in this part, kind of like the same with my hair. My hair is patchy gray, so I always get it colored, right? But I'm sitting here watching this dude get all his hair colored around the parameter to make all of his hair black. And I said to him, and I said this to him, Taylor, seriously, Yasmin, I said to him, has your girlfriend seen you without all of this? And he said, oh, no. If I'm not on point, if I haven't been to the barbershop, I ain't got my stuff together, she had seen, no, definitely not.
You gotta take them to the swimming pool the first date.
But dig this, I said, that's where the show came from. It didn't come from me seeing women, and because I'm used to seeing women with weave and makeup and all that, so I was used to that. But that show, when are you going to be naked, came from me sitting in the barbershop, seeing those guys doing. I was totally taken aback. I was tripping out because I knew that it happened, but I didn't know that guys were so obsessed with their outward appearance like we are as females.
They really are. And I think it's not really like an obsession. I think that just guys just have the same insecurities as us, but they don't show it as we do. Like they don't project like, oh, I'm insecure about my hairline, so I want to like make it seem more straighter because I don't want nobody to say anything about me. I don't want to seem like I'm aging. Like guys are very sensitive about their appearance, like very sensitive. You
And
can
see,
walk
I
up,
didn't know it
yeah,
was to
you
that
can look up
magnitude,
to,
though.
yeah, you can
I didn't
literally
know it was
walk
to
up
that
to a
magnitude.
dude, yeah, you
Yeah.
can walk up to a dude and be like, your beard's patchy. And I promise you, that same day, he's gonna go to that barbershop and he's gonna get them fibers. And he's like, no. She said it's right there. I need this covered up. Like they're very sensitive about their appearance. Very sensitive. Go ahead
Yeah.
and say, Mr. Taylor.
Yeah, no, you're totally right. I think that the way how the world.
Oh my goodness.
I'm so mad about his
You know,
connection.
every time. Oh, here it goes. All right, there you go. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Taylor.
One thing that I can say is that the way how the world is going, it's like, everything is how I look, pristine. I gotta have the right lineup and stuff. And to be honest, women really set the tone, right? And so whatever women are looking for, that's what guys are gonna conform to and do,
Yeah.
right? So if women want a guy with a lot of money, that's why you see guys always trying to buy you, right? Yo, I got a lot of money. It's whatever you're looking for. If you're looking for a bald-headed guy, it's like women now are looking for bald guys. Guess what? That guy ain't getting fibroids anymore, or whatever it's called.
Right, yeah.
That guy's gonna shave his head bald because that's what the women are looking for. And I think that when it comes to looks, it kind of bleed over into the males era now, where you might see, men are not masculine anymore. Men are have this feminine energy. So now they're into their looks. People are getting silicone in their calves. Some of these guys, right? They're getting laser surgery so they have no fat in their stomach, right? Because they're trying to really, really impress these women. And you have seen a real increase in that. Like you said, the lace front, there's a lot of guys but that makes a person feel so much. It's just like women. No different. When a woman get their hair done, they be like, girl, look at my hair. And they be looking in the mirror and then they be turning, looking back. I'm like, what are you looking back at? Like, we see you.
We're looking back at it, honey. Listen, look back at it. Hey.
So I'm a cosmetologist now.
You ain't looking back at it when your hair ain't done, but you looking
Listen, we ain't looking back at it when our hair. You right. Ain't nothing to look back at if our hair ain't done.
I'm
Shoot.
looking at to make sure it ain't nappy in the back.
Listen here. Don't get me started with that now. Don't get me started with that. Taylor is freezing on me.
Afro beard. I'm freezing again.
No, you're good now.
You're good now.
Yeah, I could never grow a full beard. Full disclosure, I could never, but nobody. My uncles have full beard, but my dad didn't have a full beard. So I used to be like, man, I can't wait to have a full beard. I can't wait to have a full beard. And I remember I used to get like a mascara. Now they do have color for here where it has that brush.
Yeah.
And I put color in my beard because I wanted that fullness of that beard. Now I could grow a beard, it doesn't matter. But when I was younger, man, I wanted that fullness. I wanted it lined up and shaped. And I'm like, yeah,
like the girls finna holler at your boy, baby, because I got a full beard on that butt. Yeah.
Right. And see, here's the thing. Like I said, and I'm gonna end here. Women, remember that trend? Oh, I want a guy with a beard. I want a guy. So these dudes that can't grow beard, guess what they're getting? Beijing beards.
Yeah. And
they're getting the lace fronts that go on the face.
Yeah, I was like, son of God, don't do it. Ooh, that's too much. You're doing it too much.
That's what I was talking about with those insecurities and trying to fit in and stuff. Like one time, this is gonna be a little toxic. Please forgive me. There was a dude that I was messing with, and he was just so sure that he had a mustache and a goatee. And I was looking, and I was like, I don't see anything. And that just ruined his whole confidence. He was like, no, it's hair right there. And I was like, it's not. And after that, he just was so sad.
That was toxic.
So sad.
That was toxic.
No, my whole thing is I don't like to lie to you. I'm not going to give you this perception that you have a beard knowing that I don't see one.
That's hilarious.
It's the same thing if I didn't have no edges. I need you to tell me. If I'm just swooping my forehead and you don't tell me, I need to know.
But some people don't want to let it go. And that's why people hold on to it. Just like I always say, if I get bald, I'm just going to shave my head. I'm not going to hold on to the sides and all this stuff. then doing this line and doing a color and all this
Yeah, I'm
stuff.
not gonna. My hair means everything to me. So if my hair was like my hair is like my crown. I treat that as my crown. So if my crown is not up to par, I'm not gonna show it. And if my crown is like falling off, like I'm losing hair or something, I gotta throw a wig on.
Well, we are coming to the end of the road. And of course, this has been a wonderful
Where is
conversation.
Mr. Jason?
Mr. Jason, he messaged me, but I wasn't able to look at it while we're here. But he had another engagement that he ended up having to be having to deal with. And his time is different than
Is
ours.
it the
So our coast, yeah. So it's much later where he is. But he was like, I hate I'm gonna miss it. I was like, it's okay. We got toxic
we
baby
got
Yasmin
time?
in the building. We got time. We got time. But this has been a powerful conversation. Please pardon the technical issues. As you know, technology does what it does, and we just have to play nice in the sandbox of life. That's what we have to do when it comes to technology. We're at its mercy. Okay. So charge it to the technology, don't charge it to us. But as always, the conversation was exceptional. I'm excited that Taylor was able to be with us. And of course, Yasmin being our honored guest tonight. So thank you, Yasmin, for being in the building with us. We had a great time with you tonight. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Let me say one thing.
Yes, ma'am.
Before you close it up. About the virtual dating, guys, if you're gonna virtual date, go out. Like, go out and have a virtual date. Get dressed up. Tell each other, I'm gonna go to a restaurant over here. I'm gonna go to a restaurant over here. Get dressed up and go out. You don't have to stay home. It's so much stuff that you can do now. You can go places, sit by yourself, and enjoy your meal with your partner, even if it is long distance. It'll give you the exact same thing. Like,
I love it. And I've seen people doing that. I've walked past tables and at cafes, and I've seen a guy talking to a girl. She was doing whatever, he was doing whatever, and they were conversing. So I've seen that done several times. And like Yasmin said, that keeps the spice in the relationship even from a distance. So we'll let that. I was getting ready to get to the closing remarks, but obviously Yasmin already gave her closing remarks. So we're going to go over to Taylor Made for him to give us a positive closing remark for the do's of long distance dating. Taylor.
No, absolutely. I think dating in itself is a wonderful thing. Despite of maybe my preference on whether it's long distance or short, I think that you have to ask yourself, what is this relationship means to you, right? And we all know that anything that you want to succeed in, you have to put an investment in. If you want your life to succeed, you have to invest in yourself. Self-help, right? If it's spirituality, you got to invest in spiritualityness, right? Maybe get on your knees and start praying more, right? So there's few things that you have to do. So when it comes to long distance relationship, like Miss P. Coffee Brown was saying, that how you have to go that extra mile, right? And that's what Yasmin was saying, that you have to communicate like that. Those things take work, right? You have to set timelines, right? Hey, at 8 o'clock, usually you get off from work at 6, you get settled in or what have you. That's usually our free time. So let's set a time, right? Because when you're trying to juggle life and trying to fit in, and sometimes you might miss the person, and the person might be waiting, and you're not feeling up to par, whatever you're struggling because you have a busy day. You set these timelines. You set it for everything else. Going to the movies, going to concerts, going with your girls or your fellas on these trips. So you can set that timeline for your long distance future, right? Because we're talking about partner forever, right? That's what we're looking for, a partner forever, right? And so you have to invest in that person. Hey, that's all I gotta say. Look, like I said,
all I got. That's all I got. And listen, there was no toxicity attached to that. Okay. That was some good stuff, and it was non-toxic. So I'm proud of. Very proud. All right, you guys. So until next time on the hot seat, we'll see you guys on next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Make sure you spread this exceptional show across your platforms and let others know about the hot seat. You guys can definitely connect with us at Koffe10k.com. That's Koffe 10k.com. And you can also grab your digital gift at IamCoachCoffee.com. I am coachcoffee.com to grab your digital gift. All right. So good night, everybody. Grace, peace, and blessings. And we will see you guys again on next week's edition of the Hot Seat. Good night, everybody.